Hi, it's Hack13. I'm going to be uploading the same video to both of my channels, Hack13 and Hack13 Experiments, mainly because I want to record something that kind of spans both channels and have different audiences on both channels. For those on the Hack13, my main channel, the first time you're going to be seeing me in VR, but hopefully that you'll see more of me in VR in the future. And this is how I plan to represent myself and do some whiteboards and stuff like that to show myself. This is my skin. I had it commissioned by a person named Riven Fox. Been very happy with it so far. Just to give them credit. That said, thank you for tuning in to this video. This is kind of like my holiday wish and thanks to everybody, as well as wanting to get some things off my chest. First off, 2020 has been rough on a lot of people. And I'm not the only one. I know there's tons of people, but I want to talk about a little bit how it's affected me. I'm a system administrator, as I've disclosed to a lot of people. I work on Unix and Linux systems. I really enjoy my job. I love what I do for a living. But work hasn't slowed down for me. In fact, the pandemic has made it a lot more aggressive. And I think for a lot of IT people, our work has gotten a lot more hectic because more people have gone remote, and our systems and other people's systems can handle it, but increases our workload. So from one sysadmin to another, I want to say, because I know we don't hear it often, thank you for what you do. Because we are often ignored unless there are problems. And when things are going great, people are like, why do we need you? Well, you need us because things are going great. This is how it is, you know. But that said, I want to say thank you for all your hard work. I know we're all going through a tough time, and you might be getting a lot of stress from all the hiccups from the early in the year, and I'm sure it's just getting just as crazy around the holidays where lots of people taking off and it's less people to man everything. So thank you. I know getting some things from my management at my work. I'm really happy with the place I work. I won't disclose it though. And I just think it's important to let everyone else who does similar work to me, and if you have any other profession, thank you. Uh, us everyday people doing our jobs is what keeps everything running. So saying that and starting off with that, I want to get into me being a little bit burnt out. I do a lot, and I know that other people at my work do a lot too. And I've noticed this statement about going on YouTube and whatnot. I'm gonna link to a video by Noodle. Has a really great video on what's going on right now with what's called crunch culture, and not to be confused with crunch. I will admit I'm someone who does crunch. It's unhealthy sometimes, and I have to thank my management and stuff for the most part. They worry and sometimes tell me, Tim, stop it, go home. Yes, my real name is Tim. It's also on my website in case you never noticed that. So I refer to myself as Tim as well. My name is Tim. Um, it's true. So I thank them for that, because sometimes I don't know when I'm pushing myself too hard. Like I will stay super late to make sure a project gets done on time because it came in very last minute, and they're like, "We need it done yesterday," and it's like, okay, let me like spend all night getting this thing done, instead of leaning on my management to say, "Hey, can we push this back a little bit? The customer's being unrealistic." So, I'm sure lots of people have situations like that, maybe not with customers, or maybe just in your own environment, like the dev team is being unrealistic of how quickly we can push this out or something, or vice versa, or whatever. So that was one thing I want to cover is, it's just, I'm doing more and more of this now because it's so easy to stay late because we've moved to full remote, which I'm sure a lot of people who do IT jobs have done. And being at home has its benefits, but if you're someone like me who tends to crunch on their own, I crunch a lot more than I should. I really do. And it's bad. So I'm learning to take steps to not do that as much, to try and relax and not push myself as hard, to realize, hey, work within your hours. You're not paid for overtime in your salary, Tim. Don't push yourself so hard. So that's been one thing. And being an introvert, then the pandemic was a lot easier for me in the beginning. Because I'm like, oh, cool, I don't have to interact with people. But I learned that I interacted with people in the office. I interacted with people at the store. A couple friends. Now, thanks to the pandemic, I've been at home. I haven't gone out much, other than to buy groceries or get some takeout to support a local business. It's been rough, and over time, this pandemic has gotten worse for me, and I just want to be honest about that. It's gotten to a point where it really is a struggle, and I bought a VR headset early in the year before the pandemic really started getting serious. I was on a waiting list for a long time, and I've only had it for about a little over 2 months now. And I have to say, being able to put this on and go places and meet new people, yeah, you're gonna find your trolls. There's trolls everywhere. I mean, we IT people probably know that more than anybody. We've been on the internet for a long, long time. But you're gonna find nice people you can chat with, people you can hang with, and just have conversations with. And it feels so nice being in person. Well, as in person as, you can get with pause and a face like this. Hello, I'm furry. um, it's great. I feel like I'm actually interacting with people as if I was somewhere in person, like going to conferences. I enjoy going to the conferences to listen to other nerdy people talk. Like, I go to Southeast Linux Fest. I attend some Red Hat conventions like the Red Hat Summit, some other Linux stuff, and I've only been to one furry convention, MFF 2018. And I'm not super social at these, but it's good to sit down and find like-minded people who I can have conversations with, and I've been able to do that now on here. I feel like the chat programs just make me think about work. And being in VR, I'm not like sitting in front of a keyboard tapping away. I'm just here, interacting with other people, actually walking around and seeing places as if I'm actually there. I'm sitting in my home world right now, which is called Nova. I didn't make it, but it's a pretty popular world and it's very pretty, and as you see, they have it all Christmas themed now. So I want to talk about that is introverts. I think I've also had it hard. And so if you have an introverted friend, try and reach out to them and say hello. They might not want it, they might will want it, but just a simple hello, don't bug them too much. But a lot of people like myself find it hard to start a conversation. But VR has really helped me with that. And VR has become so much more affordable now with things like the Oculus Quest and things of that nature. And you don't even need a VR headset to get into VR. You can use VR desktop apps like VR Chat, what I'm in right now, as a desktop client. So keep in mind, there are people who are suffering from mental anguish right now. If you look at the statistics, there have been a lot more suicides and mental health breakdowns because we are social creatures by nature, even if we are introverted. We need social interaction. And I've been so happy to find it here and make new friends. And because of that, there is one thing I want to touch on before I end to my wish for the year, for next year. I want to touch on one thing that I've seen blow up this year. On top of everything else that's going on, it really, really upsets me to see this. But it's cancel culture. And I just want to talk on it for a moment. I don't like it. I understand why people feel the need to talk about it. I understand people want to get information out, but you have to understand that even if you are right with what you're saying, it can hurt and it can have negative effects. There are people who have just completely been like, if you don't believe this thing that I believe, unfriend me and never talk to me again. That's not right. What happened to when people could actually have civil discussions? I think this is one of the things where maybe not all schools taught this. The school that I went to taught you how to debate. Like, we had mock debating. It was a class that I took that was a part of it. It's part of the curriculum. How to have a conversation like an adult and be like, we both disagree on this and we have our stances and our reasons. But we can still be friends. Yes, there are certain things that are obviously, no, that's not okay, that's not cool, and, they should be called out on it and, reported. But to just do things like, just because you voted for one person or this, that, and the other, or you believe this one thing, we can't be friends. That's stupid. I mean, I'm not going to get into my political beliefs, but all I'll say is just because someone voted for someone I didn't vote for, they have their reasons. And we can disagree on those reasons. Just because they did does not mean that they're a bad person. It means they have a different belief than me. They have a different opinion than me. And that's important to respect. Now, your house is a little bit of a line if they start saying, trying to convince you to vote the other way. That's when it's, hey, respect my opinion, I respect yours. Unless we're going to debate this, appropriately and not, block wall, don't talk to me ever again, bull crap, All I'm trying to get at is what happened to people being civil and respecting people's opinion? I've seen this very largely in a community that I love, and I've seen it cause more and more issues. And the community that I'm talking about is the Linux community. So long, so many groups are just like, read the effing manual, read, what are you, stupid? Or come on, it's that simple or something. And it's just like, hey, that's not a way to treat new users. And also bashing people because they use an operating system. Oh, you use Windows. Ooh, gross, blah, blah, blah. Just get over yourself. That's why people are going to leave, is if you don't be welcoming. I'm not saying there's not welcoming groups out there. There's still some welcoming groups I know of. It's just you see a lot of it on the internet. All I'm saying is this year, more than ever, I've seen more cancel culture and more just aggressive anti-friendship or openness. And it's people just building isolated bubbles versus trying to connect even through differences. That's all I'm saying. The thing that I'm going into what I wish for next year, the rest of this year, don't just push someone away just because they think something else or they're different. Now, obviously, it's something, really bad, like something that's definitely illegal or something, or just extremely, hatred-filled. Just don't talk to them. No need to cancel culture them or call them out. Maybe try and be their friend. Well, maybe try and be nice to them, not necessarily be their friend right away. Because I'll tell you right now, more than often, when you show someone who is spewing hatred kindness, they start to open up and realize what they are doing and what they've said is bad. When you have someone who believes really hard one thing and yet you're still nice to them instead of the other people are just like, oh, you don't believe what I believe, and mute them and pretty much validate by muting yourself from their life and making their bubble stay tight. You break into it because you're like, oh, that's fine. I don't believe that, but you just still seem like a nice person. I want to be your friend. Over time, you might show them, the way you believe has some credibility, has something that maybe they didn't realize before because everyone else just blocked them or muted them and they couldn't see them anymore. This is something that I just really want to see going into next year. What happened to people being like this, being open, being able to talk and be like, hey, I like you even though you don't agree with the same opinion of me, or I like you even though you didn't vote the same way I did. I want to get to know you more. And that's how you grow. You meet people who have different opinions and you try to become friends with them. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, it does. Just give it a chance. Try and be nice to someone. Don't immediately block them. Just try to have a civil conversation. Be open. Be friendly. Please. People I'm seeing this are slightly younger than me that I'm seeing break and push each other out of talks and stuff. You're a future. I'm 28. I'm part of that future too. And I'm seeing it, people my own age and younger. We are all the future. If we can't be civil and learn to embrace different ideals in order to come together and learn from each other instead of isolating ourselves in bubbles, we're going to be doomed to be like the people who came before us, living in isolated bubbles. I'm not saying don't hold true to your beliefs. You need to do that. They're your beliefs. But like I said, when you listen to the other side, even if you dislike it and you don't trust it or believe it, it grows your understanding and lets you understand why they might think that way. And then you can share your ideas why you think that's your way. And oftentimes you can either win them over or vice versa, or create a new opinion of an equal understanding where we can be friends even though we have different opinions. Please, for the future of all of us. The world has already been so horrible for 2020. Well, 2021 is going to be rough too. Yeah, we have a vaccine, and yeah, we have other things that are coming out to help. But it's the people. People are what make the world. If we continue to be toxic to each other just because we have different beliefs and can't find middle ground, well, we're just going to become more and more divided. Please don't be divided. Please try and talk to each other. Be civil. Learn from each other. If the other person tends to be too far, to the other side, fine, just cut your ties with that person. But don't cut ties with everyone who believes that way, because they could change by learning to be finding that middle ground between each other. That's my biggest wish. That's the only gift that I really would like to see. But for people to come together, not continue to bring this divide between us all. I want unity again. No, it'll never happen perfectly. I'm not asking for a miracle. It'd be nice if it could. But if people could just, for at least a little while, try to experiment and see for themselves that people who believe a certain way or voted for a certain person are not all the same person. Please try. Don't continue to create a divide. We are the future. You are the future. Let's try and make 2021 a better year, because remember, we are the future. The world is one thing, medicine is another. Those things are important. But the thing that will push things forward and ensure we don't, seal our own demise is to find peace between each other. Find common ground. That's how people have changed. That's how the world has changed. We create common ground, we create understanding, and we push forward. So please, as my wish for the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanza, whatever you may celebrate, and the new year that's coming, please, I ask, please try and make an effort to understand others. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you may celebrate this time of year, and a good new year. Let's try it all together to make it a better year next year. Thank you.